Hello, boys and girls. This is your old friend RJ City, and welcome to. Oh, look, the paper is stuck to the bottom of this. That's a classy look. Welcome to another episode of City After Dark. I, of course, am RJ City, and it is very, very late, and it's very dark outside. And I thought we would take this time to sit back and relax and talk about the things that perhaps bothered us today, or the deep-seated things we don't talk about in the daytime. I'm here for it all. I'm here to talk to you, and I'm here to talk back to you. You can start me on a topic, or you can share your own, and I will converse with you. The wonderful Jonathan Santos is here, and he said, oh, he is with a limerick. I do have this book of filthy old limericks that I will be intermittently reading to you all throughout the course of the evening, and Jonathan would like to share one of his. RJ City's the host that entertains us the most. Heed his words, and like the bees and the birds, your partner and you'll go pillar to post. So what Jonathan is saying there is that essentially I'm perhaps a social lubricant for people to meet each other and to find each other and to have things in common and to express themselves in a very certain way. Rowan Elijah says, yes, those glasses looking good. Cheers. And Ty said, you're wearing the glasses. I'm indeed wearing the glasses. And the glasses are in tribute to a dear, sweet inspiration of mine, the wonderful Charles Nelson Riley. I'm talking about him on an upcoming episode of The Good, the Bad, and the Unknown. Also, I have a brand new cigar. A while ago, I had this, I guess we've been doing this for about a month now, maybe a little longer. And that cigar was just flaking and falling apart. And I got a brand new one. Glasses, a cigar, new picture on the wall. I'm back in business, baby. Diana said, hi, I hope you're doing well. I'm doing okay. Need a release. I've had a frustrating day. You want to pent all up and you need to release it. And Ty said, oh, and hello to you, Ty. Nail said, wonderful limerick. Good evening, all. So fresh. Aaron said, so fresh. And Nail said, look at the emotes. So Aaron and Nails have joined my little channel membership thing, which is very sweet. And you don't have to join it if you don't want to. I'm fine. I'll still be doing this for free. Don't worry. You're not going to be shamed. You're not going to be harmed. But they chose to, and I certainly appreciate the support. And now they have access to these little badges next to their names with microphones and speakers. And then they have these emojis. And there's me with my back turned. And then there's me as a cartoon. And then there's my, hey, what are you, buddy, a piece of shit or something logo. And then there's me looking into the camera like this. I should do one with the glasses, too. That is adorable, everyone. I'm glad they're working for you. Chris said, good evening, RJ. Hello, all. Very democratic of you. Tabby said, hello and happy debauchery, everyone, as people are pouring in. This is RJ City, and I'm drinking this wonderful drink known as a lime Ricky Lake. Because, of course, Ricky Lake used to go to the Chateau Marmont, and she used to order a lime Ricky. But she was colorblind, so they would give her a lemon and nobody knew. And it's green because I have a little chlorophyll in it. Jonathan Santos said, Friday I'll be a member on payday. That is sweet of you. Again, it is not necessary, but I moved nonetheless. A sweet fella. Ty said, you need a release. I might know someone that can help you with that. Well, I think that is a perverse thing to say. This is about debauchery, not perversion. Please choose your words carefully. And put up your dukes. Nails in New York said, they're awesome. Thank you for making them. I'm glad you're enjoying the emojis. SM said, RJ, you left us mid-roast last week, but I'm happy to report it did trick my roommate. It did the trick, and my roommate got off the phone. So last week, by the way, YouTube gets very busy at this time of night, and the bandwidth, the traffic, it bottlenecks and whatever. And last night, for the second time, I was just kicked off the air. Maybe it was the dirty limericks that did it. I'm not sure. So obviously, if it ends, I don't know what you want from me. It's not my fault, but thank you for participating. It was a horrible thing. But I was in the middle of yelling at this woman's roommate, wanted to get her off the phone, and she did get off the phone, which is very sweet. It did. So if you need me to, if you want to talk about life, lust, love, or you want me to yell at your roommate, just let me know. Tabby said, I'd like to say how happy I am that the Charles Nelson Rileys are appearing everywhere. Are they popping up left and right? These glasses and, of course, that picture. Chris said, tomorrow's my Friday, so I'm headed to the liquor store to begin my debauchery. Now, let me tell you something, Chris. You don't have to be drunk to be debaucherous. That's important. I feel like that's an avoidance thing. Some people are like, oh, I'm very reserved until I drink. And it's like, you know what I mean? Bill Alexander with a lovely turquoise tribute said, greetings, RJ, and the room. This is quite a room. This is more of a lounge, Bill. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's more of a velvety lounge. Love the new subscription service. Join everyone. It's delightful. That's very sweet of you, Bill. Stay tuned. There's more idiocy afoot. Nail said, YouTube has been laggy today for lots of streamers. Well, ever since this whole shut-in business started, YouTube hasn't been, coffee and underwear. I used to finish it, and then immediately I could be able to clip it. Now it takes over 14 and a half hours to process. This is the world we're living in. This is the rationing we're living in. Back to Chris saying he had to get drunk to be debaucherous. I just want to tell you something. I like, when people are like, oh, I'm very conservative, but then when I drink, look out. And I'm just like, that's so sad. Like, you need an excuse to be you. I think if you want to do any kind of debauchery, or if you want to yell at someone or confront or make a big statement or express yourself, you should be as coherent as possible. These are your thoughts. These are your emotions. And I think you need to handle them. If you want to be a pervert, you don't need to be drunk to be a pervert. Excuse yourself. You know what I mean? If you want to let loose, you need to let loose in your life. You need to live loose. That way, first of all, alcohol is just horrible for your skin. There's no way around it. That's why this is a non-drinking face. Let me put it like that. Number one. Number two, it's very expensive. Even if you make moonshine at home, it's very expensive. Number three, it's just disgusting. You can't enjoy the next day. Number four, you be sick on your own and embrace it and say, hey, I'm a deviant. This is who I am. Stone cold sober. Look at me in the mirror. That's who I am. Jonathan Santos said, I'm debaucherously studious. I think that's very sweet that he's looking at his books and then looking at this horrible news. Niels in New York said, I think when people say that, they want to do it but have a safety net to blame. The perversion doesn't. And yes, similarly, don't let people get away with, I'm sorry, I'm drunk. That really means, I'm sorry, I'm a bad person, and I also drank on top of it. Salvatore Gaglio, great name. When are you going to be a host on TCM? Oh, the stories you could tell about Tyrone Power. Me and Mario Cantone speak a lot about TCM, and Robert Osborne was of course fantastic, and Mankiewicz there is also great. And I think Mario's next in line. He does do it a lot, but hopefully, if that's the case, he would certainly have me on because I would love to go. I would love to go on TCM, and I'd love to go on Gilbert Gottfried's podcast. We have so much to talk about. Shirley said, RJ, you make so much sense. And that's because your opinion is skewed. Your perspective is off. I shouldn't be making that much sense. Tabby Lavalam said, fun fact, I've never been drunk. I just don't enjoy the taste of alcohol enough to get to that point. I've only been hungover, I think, 3 times. First time I can say this, 16 years old. And I was at my cousin's in Brooklyn on St. Patrick's Day. A series of mistakes all right in a row. And she was older than me, and I was eager to impress her friends who I was immediately in love with. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you what I drank, but just horrible mixtures of everything. I can't tell you what I didn't drink. Let me put it like that. I want to be a cool fella and dance with these gals. And at least I had the coherence to say, I am going to throw up. And I did. It was on somebody's floor. I don't even know whose apartment we were in. And then it was cleaned up and it was fine. It was taken care of. It wasn't as big of a deal. They seemed to be used to it. Anyway, the next day, my grandmother picked me up bright ass early in the morning and said, I have a treat for you. We're going to the Brooklyn Museum. Now, keep in mind, number one, I'm very young. Number two, I've never been hungover before. So I think I'm on death's door. I think this is it, calling the troops. I'm not going to make it. Nevertheless, she was undeterred and wanted to take me to the Brooklyn Museum. She wouldn't say museum. She would say museum. And we walked, because she was a fan of the mummies. She loved the mummies and the mummification. The Egyptian princess wanted me to see Tutankhamun. And we went around and around. I stumbled around and for hours in the Brooklyn Museum. And it turned out that exhibit, the wing was closed for construction. So I was like, maybe I should get control of my life. Tabby said, Ty, especially if you get up so early with Jessamine. Yeah, Jessamine Duke does a live stream early in the morning. I think she might do one tomorrow morning. Gaming, things of that nature. The only games I play are a pinochle and perhaps a euchre. But it's a very nice stream. Aaron said, this is the most wholesome debauchery corner of the internet. Well, we want to stay monetized, Aaron. You know how sometimes Sesame Street would be a little edgy? Or maybe The Muppet Show? That's this level of debauchery. No, I'm open to everything. Aaron, this is a safe space. If you want to hit me with your good shit, hit me with it. I'll be fine. I'm here. Ty said, I'm up for anyway at 6 a.m. I'm just grateful I have something to watch. That's wonderful. It's not about me. Please stay on topic. Bill said, so if you are today's version of Charles Nelson Riley, who would you choose as your Brett Summers? Well, there is someone who wants to be Brett Summers very, very badly, and her name is Francine from ECW. She always talks about being Brett Summers, And I think she's ready to start smoking and wear some wacky glasses. And I think we'd make a heck of a team. Other than that, I would say Mario Cantone for sure. Tabby Lavalamp said, I've seen Gilbert Godfrey perform, and at his merch table afterwards, he was so soft-spoken. Well, when you yell for hours, and usually the shows he would do like a 7 o'clock show and then do another show at like 10 o'clock. I saw him in Toronto, one of my favorite comedians I saw. I was very young. I was working at a bar at the time, and this girl asked me out, and then I got these tickets. So I was like, do you want to go to Gilbert Godfrey? Like, I love him. I'm going anyway. And that was a mistake. Speaking of drunkenness, because she got so drunk and she was so loud, and I have noise anxiety. Like, no matter what the environment is, you have to match that noise that's socially acceptable. Like if you're in a library, you have to talk like this. These are the rules. I don't make the rules. And if you're somewhere else, if you're a bar or something, you can use this voice depending on how many people are in the bar and if music's playing. Anyway, she was too loud for a comedy club, and she kept ordering shots, and it was very distracting, and it really ruined my evening. Nevertheless, I love Gilbert very, very much. Stokely said, sorry I'm late. Did I miss the Donkey Show? Actually, there's going to be one at 10:45 is the second showing. Jonathan Sanders said, you got to come back to New York City as soon as this quarantine mumbo jumbo is over. It is on the list. Believe me, I have to see the Nobodies. I have to see Mario. I have a lot. I'm filling up my date book, and it's all pointing to New York. Rowan says, oh, man, you're making me feel like a total degenerate in Letterkenny language. Speaking of Letterkenny, I know the portly fella, Kate Trevor Wilson, and I think they should have me on the show. I think it's high time they do a wrestling episode. Trayul said, oh, euchre. Yes, it's a very debaucherous game. Nails New York said, oh, I have no idea what she's playing, but I like laughing at her reactions in chat. Rowan said, but you inspire us to be healthy, and that's good. You should be healthy. If you can't really be a deviant if you feel bad all the time. You have to have your wits about you. That's very important. Nelson, when's the last time you were so drunk you couldn't remember anything? Oh, has not been for years. And I can't tell you when. Maybe at a wedding, and I said, this is it. Let's just go for the record. But I couldn't even tell you what wedding. I don't even go to that many, but I was just like, meh, let's just go. Last time I was drunk was probably like two months ago. And the only reason I got drunk is because I had a double vodka that I didn't order and I had nothing to eat. And I was like, whoa, I don't want to do this. I almost proposed to someone. Tabby said, I want to be today's Fanny Flagg. That's fine by me. Fanny Flagg's still alive and she writes novels. Ty said, he's complaining. It's not about him, but the dude ignores me basically everything that's not his streams. I don't know what you're talking about. Kiana said, if I am Charles Nelson Riley, she should be the Gene Rayburn then. Well, I'm sure you know how to handle something very long. Nell said, I have noise anxiety, as in I cannot be in silence ever. Silence is also deafening. I also have that condition where you can't listen to people chew. If people are chewing, I have to have the TV on or something. It drives me crazy. Even myself chewing, I'm like, this is disgusting. I just am reminded how disgusting humans are. Jonathan Sanders said, next time you are in New York City, hit me up. I will. Ty said he needs to go to Philly, make it easier for me. I was in Philly, and I did a wrestling show in the ECW arena. And you know what, Ty? You weren't there. Rowan said, Kate Trevor, he's so funny. That has to happen. Do tweet him. I'm sure he's in charge. Jonathan Sanders said, Lime Ricky's on me when you're in town. And if we're crazy, guys from Shirley Temples, too. Ty said, how did you get a double vodka he didn't order? I ordered just a vodka. It was one of those things where it's like, these were all doubles. I didn't know. Nobody told me. But they only tell you after they give it to you and charge you like $20. My strategy is like, so people leave me alone and they're like, oh, why don't you drink? I will get one vodka water or vodka soda and I will hold it for hours. But I was very thirsty and it was a double and I didn't have anything to eat. So I was destroyed. Stokely has a lovely goldenrod donation. That's very sweet. Who would you rather, Glenn Close or Albert Nobbs? I would say Glenn Close, but dressed up as the pirate she was in. Do you even know she had the craziest cameo of all time? Glenn Close is in Hook. She's the pirate that gets put in the boo box. You don't believe me? Go watch it again. It'll blow your mind. Kiana says, I mean, you're correct. Yeah. Also, congratulations to Kiana. This is the anniversary of her being a baby sitting with her grandmother on Live with Regis and Kathy Lee. She was in the audience, and she has the screen cap, and I think she put it up today, and here's to you, and here's to Reach. We're sitting there, and the next thing I know, I see Kiana Davis. Well Done Wheel said, hello, RJ. Sorry I'm late to the party. Oh, it's a party. It's more like a mixer. Nails New York said, I leave you on autoplay sometimes during the day because I don't like silence when I'm home. I'm so happy that I can be your white noise. Jordan Patrick said, people chewing is my number one pet peeve on the planet. People who chew with their mouths open are cretins. And I completely agree. That's just, and they also inhale while they're like, I don't even joke like that because I understand it bothers people because it does bother me. Ty said, you have to come back to Philly, dude. Yeah, I need to be booked. I need to be flown there. I'm certainly not going to drive. Not with this mess going on. Chris said, the silence kills me. I need to have something constantly playing in the background. I always have the TV. I always have music. I would love to play music during this, but then I wouldn't be able to. They'd kick me off, and I would get a hold from the Lawrence Welk estate. I don't need that. Famous Among the Barn says, what can we do to get vaudeville back on stage? It's on stage. It's called indie wrestling, and you need to go. So many times I will make the entrance with David Arquette, my tag team partner, sometimes. And then we'll do the promo, and then I'll look at each other, and it'll be generally speaking the same promo. I'll look at him, and I go, this is vaudeville. This is what you wanted. He's always like, let's do vaudeville. Like, let's take an act and we'll tour it on the road. And then it's like, we're in Chicago one week, and then like a month later we're in LA, and I'm like, we're doing the same act. And I'm like, hey man, this is it. You asked for it, and we are in it. Ty said, oh, so you just babysit your drinks? Yes, and I wait till the ice melts, or I just suck on the ice a lot and do a lot of stirring and then pouring it on the floor. Nail said, in New York, you order a single vodka and it's practically 3/4 of the glass. That's so true. And the price is exorbitant. Quatora Harris said, hey, baby. I say, hey, Quatora. Why would you call someone baby when your name's Quatora? Kiana said, oh, my God, cheers to her wonderful Regis opinion. On Wheel said, Hook, really? Ron Elijah said, okay, I need to get my buck back to New York City. Everybody, once this is over, Shirley Temple's on me in New York. Jonathan Santos said, this has become the New York City drink set. You know what I love, and I will have it every summer that I'm in New York. I like it's like I will have one beer a year. I like Blue Moon. I think it's delightful. I think it's very nice. And also, New York summers are very hot, and it's hot enough to make it satisfying. Like in Toronto, I don't think it's hot enough to quantify me wanting a beer. Bill Alexander said, I went to a friend's place after she learned how to make mojitos. Another refreshing drink. Never been so drunk in my entire life. When drunk to a Rolling Stones concert afterwards, can't remember one song. Now that is a shame. You missed out on the Stones. You knew you were there, but you can't play it in your head now. What a shame. Sure, you had a fun time. My rule is, if you're going to be drunk when nobody's drunk. Don't get drunk on New Year's. Everybody's drunk on New Year's. Trouble is going to happen. You need to be coherent. You want to get drunk on Easter. Tabby Lavalam said, I don't mind other people chewing, but I hate eating at a restaurant if I can't turn my back to the crowd because I don't want anyone to see me chewing. Sometimes if I'm at a table and two people go to the bathroom and I'm left alone and their plates are in front of me, I feel like people are looking at me going, look at this gluttonous human being. He ate all these plates. And I get very ashamed of myself. Ty said, do you sleep in silence or do you have a fan or the TV on? I am terrified of the dark, Ty, because my worst enemy is my imagination. So whenever there's a canvas, my mind will paint horrible thoughts there. So I like to leave a little light on. Sometimes that's the TV. That's fine. You also need a good sleeping show. It can't be too engaging or else you'll never get to sleep. Football is perfect. Chris said, if I'm able to have some time by myself, I like to sit alone in my room, play some music, and write on my laptop. That's good. I need to zone out a little more. That's what I need. And focus on doing one thing at a time. You ever try to do 8 things at the same time? You write a line of an email, and then you'll check Facebook, and then you'll check, YouTube, what's going on, and then you'll watch a video and come back and write it. You get nothing accomplished that way. And Wheel said, my sister lives in New York. See, everyone's going to Whit's house. Sabrina said, I only drink Shirley Temples. When I was a little boy, and I was a diva all the way, I would either have Shirley Temples or I'd have a virgin pina colada. Because I was like, oh my goodness, pineapple and coconut in the same drink. And I still have virgin pina coladas, mainly because I'm still a virgin. 1 beer a year and you waste it on Blue Moon? What do you want me to have, Ty? A Guinness? A stout? One of those pompous craft beers that people talk about and exhausts me? See, Sean says, I really like Blue Moon as well. Good choice. Nail said, I've been here 8 years and still not used to the summer heat. It is exhausting. Jonathan Santos said, BX in the building. Ty said, too many things happen now on New Year's to also be drunk. Yeah, somebody's got to clean up. Tabby said, when this is all over, you have to come wrestle in Edmonton. I'll Venmo you a Cobb salad. I would love that. If you sponsor me via Cobb salad, I would love to come. Couture Harris said, RJ, who are you quarantining with? Well, Al Lewis and Charles Nelson Riley. Ty said, please tell me you sleep with a nightlight. I'll buy you one if you need it. I always have a nightlight. It's usually just sometimes the bathroom light. I feel like the nightlight is not strong enough. Sometimes the full-on bathroom. I would sleep like I went to Costa Rica once, and it was just so buggy that I had to sleep with the full room light on, or else I was just not going to close my eyes. Rowan said, "Oh my God, that's precisely why I'm terrified of silence. Mind canvas. Damn, you nailed it. I know. It's like I live with it." Jordan Carter said, "Hey, Arya, what's your favorite drink that should make a comeback? Moscow Mule, Manhattan's, Old Fashioned. I like a Rob Roy." Look, can someone look that up and tell me what's in that? I've always heard it, and I had one, and I just can't remember what's in it. Stokely said, Bob Hoskins should have won all the Oscars when he played Smee. You know, not only did he play Smee, but he played Mario. That's Super Mario. That's incredible range. And, of course, the detective in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. That's a pretty good career. I was also thinking, man, like a lot of people have played Batman, right? Christopher Nolan. Not Christopher Nolan. Who am I talking about? Christian Bale or George Clooney. Of course, Adam West. But, man, Michael Keaton played Batman and Beetlejuice. Holy shit. You're just done, man. Just fucking close up shop. Chris said, I have a lot of ideas for screenplay novels. I'll get into 2 lines and think about a completely different project. Sometimes that's a good thing to come back to because I need to sit on an idea. Sometimes I'll get an idea out and I'll love it as I'm writing it. And the second I hit done or I need to go to pitch it somewhere, I'm like, can this really be a thing? I'm like, this is horrible. I should be ashamed of myself. No one's going to want this. And then I need to step away from it. And then I can come back to it almost a little more objectively. Nelson New York said, have you ever had Stone Cold's beer? Oof, it's strong. I haven't because when I was there, he didn't even offer it to me. And if you listen to the podcast when me and David were on, he said, I'm going to give you guys, because I gave him my pin. He said, I'm going to give you guys 2 hats. And then we ended the show. He's like, all right, get out. He didn't give me a hat. Stone Cold scam, if you ask me. Jordan Patrick said, I used to drink Shirley Temples and Virgin Pina Colada too. What the hell? Jordan, are you suffering from the same social eccentricities that I am? Sabrina said, do you have a favorite Shirley Temple movie? Not really. Not as a full movie. I do have one of my favorite songs is Animal Crackers in My Soup, Monkeys and Rabbits, Loop-de-Loop. Gosh, oh my, I have fun eating animal crackers one by one. Jonathan Santos said, and she ended up being an ambassador. The U.S. made her an ambassador to what country? I'm not sure. I want to say Venezuela, but I don't know if that's just in my head. Jonathan Santos said, I feel like you haven't called someone Burgess Meredith in quite a while. Might I suggest a new curse? Amy Jo Johnson. The rare triple entendre. Oh, that Amy Jo. She's creeping up on the list. I still haven't heard back from her at all. She's approaching Ruffalo territory. Rowan said, a Rob Roy is primarily whiskey and vermouth. That is a drink for old businessmen. Nail said, RJ, do you order drinks that sound good rather than how they taste? That's how you end up with too much vodka. I like to just have an iced tea. Nelson New York said, speaking of Beetlejuice, what are your thoughts on stripy suits? It depends which way they're going, because sometimes it's not very flattering. Nail said, if I listen to the podcast, come on, of course. Carla Hoffman said, a Roy Rogers is a Shirley Temple, but with cola instead of seltzer. Oh, I would see. Now, this is a question, Carla. Let me pick your brain. I've had so many Shirley Temples that don't even have seltzer in it. They'll have like a cranberry juice, orange juice, and I think Sprite, instead of them actually having to put sugar in it. Something to think about. But I would love to have a Roy Rogers. I'd love to have a Bob Evans. I mean, the breakfast, not the drink. Sabrina now said, Animal Crackers by Shirley Temple is stuck in her head. Jordan Patrick said, yes, I'm the Anton LaVey to your Jane Mansfield. Speaking of Jordan, coming up on my channel membership, I'm starting a new series where we talk about Jane Mansfield a lot, and I'm just going to leave it at that. Anton LaVey was, of course, the wonderful, renowned Satanist who was good friends with Sammy Davis Jr. Chris Sago said, there was the big Shirley Temple drink debate on Twitter last week. Well, I totally missed this. Shirley Temple is just the girl from the GIF to the youth of today, I'll say. Stokely said, I like old Shirley Temple. Couture said, Coutura. Am I saying it right? Coutura? I'm learning. RJ, do you like to drink vodka or mix? I like to have vodka water because I feel like the alcohol of the vodka dehydrates you, but the water will hydrate you. I like to keep it clear and kind of low key. I'd like to put a lime or a lemon in it. That helps for me. Bill said, had to try out our emojis. So any hints on your first exclusive content? Well, the first one I dropped, and it's in there right now, is my stand-up set, which no one's ever seen before, from November. And check that out. Well, don't check it out right now. Watch me now. And then after that, watch it. And then after that, Jane Mansfield. That's my, that's my hint. It's Jane Mansfield. Nails in New York said, did you check the community tab? There's stand-up. Oh, yeah. Okay. Thanks, Nails. Check the community tab, Bill. Rowan said, speaking of Beetlejuice is my favorite star. Tabby said, I'm too tired to write a good limerick. To the best of my efforts are just sick. Everything is just slosh, but I will okay, sorry. This is a limerick, so I have to reread it now. I'm too tired to write a good limerick. The best of my efforts are just sick. Yeah, I'm starting to agree with you. Everything is just slosh, but I will be debauched. Sex, and lick. Nail said, ooh. Carla said, wait, Jane Mansfield or James Mansfield? No, I'm talking about Jane Mansfield. We're getting deep. Jordan said, I'll be joining once I figure out how. You hit the join button. That makes sense. Nails in New York said, I'm currently drinking screwdrivers. Hard to make do with what we had in the cupboard. Wow, is it a Phillips? Ty said, my coworker only drinks vodka waters, and I don't understand the point. Why are you watering down the liquor? So you know what I will also say? Having the sugar of a soda or a ginger ale or something, or like a cola, is overwhelming. It's like, I haven't had a Coke in years. Nails New York said, the stand-up was awesome, everyone, genuinely. It's very sweet of you, Nails. Carla says, also, my mom would bar hop when I was younger, and I learned a lot about non-alcoholic cocktails. Shirley Temple should have seltzer, but cheaper places have Sprite or 7-Up. You want to know why? Because it's hard to get good seltzer. And if you go in New York, you'll know they have seltzer. And club soda is just like a poor man's seltzer. Don't fall for that club soda trick. It's not that good at all. Thank you for breaking that down, Carla. I appreciate that. Tabby said, I worked 11 hours today and I had to skip lunch. I can't do better right now. That's fine. Drink up. Here's to your health. Bill said, when I drank Shirley Temples as a kid, I used to leave the little plastic swords in to play with the action figures. That's very sweet. My mom always had to throw away these sticky swords. Dumb habit. I loved the maraschino cherry. That was always stuck in the swords. I would always put 2. And they were so fake. They tasted so fake and not even remotely close to what a cherry should taste like, but I love them just the same. Nails New York said, Jordan, you have to go on YouTube via Internet Explorer, whatever you use, and find the join button. I had this problem. Yeah, it's hard to find on your mobile. You have to do it on a laptop or a computer. Stokely said, I'm drinking orange, Gatorade, and vodka. Now, that's another good mix that I would use in my younger years when you want to disguise what you're drinking. If you're on the bus or the train or something, you would just pour a little vodka in a Gatorade Zero or something. That was purple. I like the purple one. Jamie Franchuk said, great screwdriver Phillips joke. Thank you. Dora said, my grandparents named my mom off the movie Heidi because my grandparents love the name Heidi. Isn't that adorable? SNSM, RJ, what was your favorite boy band from the 90s if you had to pick? I loved O-Town. They were done by the same Lou Pearlman guy who did Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, but I thought they were funnier and a little more adult. I liked also B44, because there's only 3 of them. Sabrina said, those glasses you're wearing are bringing back memories of a comedy show you did dressed as Charles Nelson Riley. These are the glasses, and I do have the wig and ascot, and maybe, I'm not going to say tonight, but if you're good boys and girls, maybe Charles Nelson will come back one time. Tabby Lovelam said, I like to think the little plastic swords are out in the ocean now and giving the fish something fun to play with. Yes, that's how they duel for school supremacy. Raquel Durango said, love the glasses, RJ. Who would you pick to play you in a movie about your life? Ooh, that's a good question. I want to see Joseph Gordon-Levitt put on a little weight. I want to see him bulk up and limp his wrists and do me. Ty said, who's drinking on a bus? Well, back in my high school years, you didn't have much of a choice, Ty. Have a little respect. Nils New York said, have you done anything debaucherous since being quarantined? Yeah, I've been on YouTube a lot. And I've been talking to people live after dark. This is it. This is the peak of my debauchery. Widow Meal said, good night, RJ and everyone. I have to get up early for work in the morning. Have a great night, RJ. Wit, sleep well, rest well, and wake up refreshed and bushy-tailed and wide-eyed. And we're all proud of you. Good night, Wit. Revenge of Craig 5 said, how late at night are we going to get tonight? Are we going to see nipple? No, because you get to see it on Sunday. You get to see, but my nipple is just below. That's the advantage of having low nipples. Neil said, remember 31? Remember 3T? 31 or 3T? Yes, I do remember 3T. It was delightful. Kiana said, O-Town was upper tier, but they debuted too late to make waves. Shame. That was on the tail end. What was that band? It wasn't a real band. It was a sitcom, a parody of a boy band. Was it Together? And it had Chris Farley's brother in it. Does anyone remember this? Famous said, speaking of boy bands, who is the most overrated member of the Rat Pack? Joey Bishop. A lot of people did not like Joey Bishop at all. And I can't tell you one good thing he even sang. Ty said, are you promising to cosplay for us? No, this isn't cosplay. This is an embodiment, okay? I take this way more seriously than a cosplay. I'm not showing up like this is a convention for free. Chris said, I had those plastic swords as a kid. Then my mom gave them away. I would have pretended to keep them in case I had my own little Chris's or Christina's. I'm sure you can get them again. Although I don't know if anyone... I wonder if kids' restaurants still put the swords in the drinks. I'm going to have a child just to find this out. Tabby Level said, I want to see RJ play Falco in a biopic. Edie Falco? Joseph Gordon-Levitt is Joseph Gordon-Levitt is a good choice. Tabby Lavalam said, Falco, the Australian singer, not Edie Falco. Damn it. Ty said, and do me. Really now. Tabby said, but sure, Edie Falco too. Rowan said, oh my God, B44 from Richmond Hill. Yes. I think your Grecian is the same to me. I saw the twins in Vegas singing backup for Shania Twain. I can't speak tonight. It's too late. My BFF went to school with them. I've heard that people know B44. One of them was like Dan, Dave, and then like Sven. One had a it was like a Norwegian name. Bill said, we used to go to Tim Hortons. We used to use Tim Hortons cups to drink in public. Those were the days. Nils New York said, do you subscribe to anyone's OnlyFans? Yes, I do. BB Newirth has an OnlyFans, and I love it. Kiana says, yes. Ty-Fi says, together, but it was spelled with a plus sign in the middle. That I distinctly remember now. Rowan said, O-Town. Yeah, O-Town sang Liquid Dreams. And Rowan says, ew. Yolanda, way to get here late. I just can't get here earlier than 10:30. I think I'm cursed. Somebody catch Yolanda up. We've been talking about Shirley Temples. We've been talking about being drunk younger. We've been talking about being drunk in public. We've been talking about not being drunk at all. We've been talking about not liking the sound of chewing. We've been talking about not liking Joey Bishop. We've been talking about how we should all go to New York. Kiana was on Regis once years ago. A bunch of good stuff. Oh, SM sent a lovely turquoise donation and said, RJ, can you roast my parents for trying to sneak out of the house during quarantine? They need a stern talking to. SM's parents, you should be ashamed of yourselves. You try to bring this child into the world and rear them right? How can you do that when you're setting such a bad example? How can you live with yourselves? Haven't you ever disciplined your child? And then wake up the next morning like everything's okay when you're sneaking out of the house. You're sneaking away from your responsibilities, not only to your household, but to society. And God forbid something happens, you will rue the day. I could sneak out. I have places I could go, but I'm staying safe and I'm doing my part. And you are not. And for that reason alone, you should be ashamed. Jordan Patrick said, oh, that's a low mint green. Welcome to Key to the City. That's so sweet, Jordan. You look great. Enjoy the bizarre content. It can get really annoying after a while and you'll regret it. Famous said, RJ should be played by a young BB Newirth in the movie Oh Is Life. That works for me. Oh, Jordan, that's so nice. Yolanda said, ooh, I missed some good conversation. Yeah, that's for sure. Ty said, we also talked about how you're scared of the dark. Yes, Yolanda, I'm scared of the dark because it's dark, and then it's like a blank canvas for my mind. So whatever is in my mind about what's there is worse than what could actually ever possibly be there. It's so inconceivable in my head. My mind is my own worst enemy. So, we're just talking about fun stuff. Nails New York said, welcome to the gang, Jordan, a hip gang. Bill said, can never get into any boy band unless you count Duran Duran. No, genre-wise, no, but they are certainly a band of boys. Bill said, what was your first taste of music as a kid? I wanted to say Sesame Street and the Muppet Show, and then that's how I got into like Ethel Merman, like those kind of things, and like Eliza Minnelli. I remember the New York album. I remember Phantom of the Opera being played a lot. Popular music, I don't really remember. Again, I'm 62 years old, Bill. Nail said, we talked about you being a drunk and almost proposing to someone, except you glossed over it and didn't tell us who it was. Well, it doesn't matter. I didn't say yes. Ty said, you can't go anywhere. The U.S.-Canadian border is closed still. Oh, yeah, true. Yolanda said, what, really? Oh, wow, I'm very intrigued. Well, maybe if you got here a little earlier. Tabby said, this would be a good time for the network to air reruns of Joey Bishop's talk show. And now, Kiana, to tie this up, Regis, his first job in television, he was a sidekick on the Joey Bishop show. And as a stunt to boost ratings, they had Regis walk off for a couple of weeks. And I remember like, oh, did he get fired? Did he quit? And then he came back on. And apparently he hated doing that. And he felt very, very disingenuous. So he always acted like it was real because show business is also wrestling. Chris said, I want to go to the record shops. I want to go to the comic book joints. I want to have a well-done steak with mashed potatoes and a milkshake to drink. But I have to wait. Well, now, to be fair, you can buy your own steak. And you can learn how to make mashed potatoes and a milkshake. That's for sure. You can certainly buy milk. And you can order records and comics online. There are ways to have this fun. You can get there, Chris. Duran Duran 007 song was pretty effing cool, said Chris. I think so, too. I liked Skyfall. It's a recent one, but I liked it. Jay said, I'm also a bathroom-like guy. Solidarity. Here's to you. Tabby said, Charlie Callis or Buddy Hackett. I have a weird obsession with Charlie Callis because I don't think he's very good. But like in that weird way where I'm like, I kind of do think he's very good. It's sick and weird, but I'm dealing with it. If you were in a movie, said Nails, and you had to sing a song to get the girl, what would you sing? Some Enchanted Evening. Also, please someone take note. I know this whole song, and I will gladly sing it on Sunday. It is a showstopper. So if someone requests it, I'm knocking it out of the park. Trust me. Couture Harris says, O-Time Backstreet Boys, 98 Degrees, 5, B2K was the best of my generation. And yes, RJ, I was born in 1994. That's not too far away from me, but you certainly have a better knowledge of all of them. I remember Crazy Town. Yolanda said, yeah, I'm on punishment. You sit in the corner, you think about what you did, Yolanda. Kiana said, oh my God, I don't know what that's in reference to. Oh, Regis the Legend, sure. Philip said, can you promise me that you'll come to Limitless Wrestling in Maine when this all ends? Philip, you don't know how this works. The people at Limitless make the choices. That's like saying, can you promise me you'll get hired by McDonald's? You should talk to the people who work at McDonald's. I would be happy to go. I'm not saying Limitless is McDonald's, just whatever. You know what we didn't talk about in News New York said? Mark Henry sang Little Shop of Horrors for you, and he totally put me over. So I've been doing Mark Henry's new show. It's called Not a Spork Show. I posted a link in the community tab a couple days ago. He sings Little Shop of Horrors to me. He's like, you know what musical I love? I was like, what? He said, Little Shop of Horrors. I was like, what? And then I think I did 2 more episodes that are coming up. And of course, they get weirder and weirder. And Mark is a sweetheart. Speaking of Joey Bishop, said Bill Alexander, who is your favorite stand-up comic of all time? I love Patrice O'Neill. I think it was fantastic. I love Gilbert Gottfried. I feel like it's biased, and I'm not going to say that I love Mario Cantone because, like, I know him a lot now, so that's weird. I just feel like that disqualifies him. Who else do I love? I think Norm Macdonald is great. I think Sarah Silverman is great. I had George Carlin on the other day, and he was also fantastic. Who else did I like? There were a bunch of... Oh, Pat Cooper. That's an old name. This guy's great. The wonderful Pat Cooper, who's also on Howard Stern, all things of that nature. Ty said, Crazy Town with Butterfly. Yes, you're my butterfly sugar baby. Make coffee later on Sunday, said Tabby, and maybe the $5 will be making it your way from some enchanted afternoon. Fair enough. Nell said, I want to hear it sung in underwear, not in a kimono. I'll wait till Sunday. That's the better choice. It's so much more appropriate. And now I feel elderly, says Rowan. You embrace your youth. Andrea said, Crazy Town. You're my butterfly sugar baby. I went to see 5 in England, said Nails, New York. Sabrina said, what's your favorite Spice Girl song? Mine is Viva Forever. I mean, I liked Stop. Wannabe is great. Oh, To Become One. Need some love like I never needed love before. Wanna make love to you, baby. I had a little love. Yeah, okay. Jay said, Patrice O'Neill was the best part of Opie and Anthony. That's for sure. Ty said, what are you reaching for? Are you putting cigar in an ashtray? No, I was putting my drink down. I didn't want to have it here and spill it. Jordan said, Carlin, Pryor, Hedberg, Chappelle, and Burr. I love Mitch Hedberg, but to be fair, I've never seen a full show, and I wonder how it would last. How a full, how an hour and a half Hedberg show would be. I love Colin Quinn, too. I think Colin Quinn's fantastic. His one-man shows on Netflix are great. SM said, I kept hearing Suddenly Seymour echoing in my house if my roommate heard it on your program. Good, because I'm inspiring the world. Jordan said, thanks for reminding me of my Ethel Merman disco album. Memories of my Miami grandma popping pills. Dear Lord, you have to overdose on prescription medication like that album. And a couple weeks, you may hear that come up on a series of mine. Nell said he's using an ashtray, but it's not lit. And I'm putting it in my drink. Chris said a former coworker of mine despised Sarah Silverman. I attempted to date her. I tried to get David to hook it up, but she didn't respond. And then we're in LA, we're hanging out with another friend of mine, and it turns out Sarah Silverman lives next door, and we heard her voice down the hallway. And that was very serendipitous. And I couldn't knock on her door and be like, just by the way, you lost out on this. I just want you to know. Check your Twitter a little more often. David was like, he's like, oh, you two would be perfect. I know her. I'm like, really? He's like, yeah, just like send her a tweet and tell her to come to bar wrestling. I'm like, you sure? He's like, yeah. Blah, blah. And then I tweeted her. And I'm like, okay, I did it. And he's like, yeah, I don't know if she'll answer. She can be kind of weird. I'm like, what? Why would you make me do this? David Arquette, hell of a wingman. Couture Harris said, I remember Crazy Town. Do you remember BB Mac? Of course I remember BB Mac. And I also love listening to Brian McKnight. Bill Alexander said you could also pass for Pat Cooper with those glasses as well. They need to be thicker. Pat Cooper, great choice. His real name, Pasquale Caputo. Figure that out. Nail said, do you know the dance moves to stop? Yes. Hand, thumbs, like this shimmy thing, and then cross over the arms, and then say, hey, you, always on the run, slow it down, baby, have some fun. Ty said, you being able to name the Spice Girl songs is very attractive. I'm sorry if that makes things awkward. No, it doesn't. I was a big fan. I was wrestling with my puberty. Jordan said, I was just seeing the two become one with you, and my fiance wanted to know what the hell was going on, and then saw it was you on the screen and just rolled over. How'd it go? Put it on, just tonight is the night when two become one. And they were walking slowly in the street, but the street was moving fast. You remember that video? I really enjoyed the Sean Ross Sapp interview, said Nails. He smiles the entire time he talks to you. I think he has a crush. Is it true that it was supposed to be a segment, but ended up being the entire episode of the podcast? If he says so, yeah. All I knew was that I was just going to be interviewed, and I assumed it would go long. Most of these things are like usually an hour. So I figured that was it. I didn't realize it was just supposed to be a segment. Why wouldn't you use me for the full hour? Tabby, Kathleen Madigan is another underrated comedian. I'm not just saying that so I brag that she follows me on Twitter. First of all, that's amazing. I did love her. I saw a double bill she did with the Lewis Black. Another comedian I really like, and I saw him a couple years ago in Michigan, was Ron White, who is the guy who drinks and smokes on the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, also known as the one funny comedian on the Blue Collar Comedy Tour, which is why he wasn't really a part of them. Andrea said, you're exceptional, a singular sensation. Ty said RJ is slowly having a stroke. It's faster than I think. Neil said it's not awkward. I think you wear the glasses for you. Bill said, with all the name drop of people you know, if you could start your own version of It's a Mad, 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 Mad World, who would you pick to be in such a movie? Well, I think Mario Cantone is on the list. David Arquette is definitely on the list. Gilbert Gottfried is on the list. Who else would be on the list? Joy Behar, I think, would be a fantastic addition to that. Leslie Jordan. Does anyone follow Leslie Jordan on Instagram? He is fantastic, and he would be an amazing. I'm going to have to sit with that and continue to answer you on Sunday, Bill. I feel like it could go on forever. That cast was amazing. Yolanda said, if I ever cross your mind anytime, that's the jam. And I refuse to sing it because you came here late, Yolanda. Brian McKnight said, Nails, back to one. Oh, Tabby sent a lovely turquoise donation. It's just wrong that there's this much singing without a tip. To be fair, I haven't sung the whole songs. I was so compelled. I'm such a generous chanteuse. Famous said, better Darren Stevens on Bewitched. Oh, better Darren Stevens on Bewitched. The better Darren. Dick York or Dick Sargent. I'm the original, which is Dick York. Just because. I mean, that's what you're starting with. And I feel bad for him. He was in so much back pain, and I think that's why he had to leave the show. There was a lot wrong with him, and he couldn't continue. So he had to be replaced that way, which makes me feel a lot better. Like, he wasn't like, oh, we hate you. It was just really sad, and they tried to do the best. Also, Bewitched was way better than I Dream of Jeannie. Neil said he knows the moves to stop. Guys, how is he this awesome? That I don't know. Spot Center said the closing number from the classic movie From Justin to Kelly is underrated. Then they covered That's the Way I Like It from Casey and the Sunshine Band, and it's awesome. That sounds terrible, but in a way that I want to watch it. Chris said, one of my favorite love songs, the Isley Brothers, For the Love of You. I saw the Everly Brothers I saw Simon and Garfunkel and the Everly Brothers. They didn't open for them. They were the opening act, but they came out in the middle to sing a couple songs. Then they did songs together with Simon and Garfunkel. And then Don Everly, I saw Paul Simon's final tour last year, and Don Everly came out, and they sang Wake Up Little Susie, which was delightful. And Maybelline. Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? Oh, Maybelline, why can't you be true? Sabrina said, I own the Spice World DVD, and on my channel, I have a Spice World trailer reaction, and I lament about how weird it is that George Wendt is in the movie. Nils New York said, did you catch AEW tonight? Love to hear your thoughts on Damian the Snake getting fresh with Brandy. I did not see it. I was getting ready for the show. I'll usually try to watch it the next day. I'm all here for Jake the Snake doing anything. It's annoying when he's like so old now, and he's like, defies death, and then comes back and just still cuts an amazing promo. Like, you didn't even, have you even been practicing? Are you just throwing? Has everyone just gotten way worse? Like, how can you still be this good? It makes no sense. It bothers me. I can cut a better promo than him. I'm confident. Jordan Patrick with his lovely new loyalty badge said, I've been saying the same thing about Ron White for years. He's the only one who's talented and isn't a Republican. Gee, I have a feeling that goes hand in hand. Can you name me a funny Republican? I'm sorry if anyone's Republican. Well, I'm not, but whatever. Seriously, can you name me one? Even if you are Republican, can you name me one? Maybe. I wouldn't even classify like Dennis Miller or Bill Maher as Republican. I think they're just being shit disturbers. Famous said, where I lost you here. I'm looking, and now I lost you. Dear Lord, where did you go, boy? Leslie Jordan. You were talking about Leslie Jordan. Where did it go? Leslie Jordan is the best thing on Instagram right now. Aaron says Leslie Jordan's Instagram is incredible. Yolanda said, I've learned my lesson. No, you sit there and you think about it. No, Leslie Jordan is fantastic. Everyone should just type in Leslie Jordan on Instagram. Nils in New York said, oh, how lovely, Tabby. Where does Lava Lamp come from? And now we just have guests. We have chat people interviewing chat people. Couture says, RJ Ruffends and Jessica Simpson. Ryan Cabrera, do you remember them? Oh, my goodness, of course. You remember when Ashley Simpson had that horrible thing on SNL, that lip-syncing malfunction? Art. Ty said, I didn't realize how much him saying the Spice Girls would make me happy. You thought I was just an old man. Sabrina said, are you a fan of Audrey Hepburn movies? Yeah, I'm a fan of Katharine Hepburn movies. Aaron said, what about the band Bewitched? Go to me, say to me, say la vie. Was that Bewitched? Because that's what's in my head. Somebody tell me if that's correct. They were Irishish or maybe Scottish, Welsh. Has anyone, Nielsen New York said, has anyone found any information on the Reluctant Astronaut ice cream yet? From my breakdown, Good, the Bad, and the Unknown on Don Knotts, Baskin Robbins made an ice cream called the Reluctant Astronaut. I haven't found a damn thing. Even though at some point they had previously a astronaut ice cream, period. I think it was a cross promotion with NASA, but I can't really find any information on that either. Tabby said, my family is the Connecticut Lava Lamps. That's fantastic. Fast Food Guido said, Small Wonder or Mr. Belvedere? Oh, Mr. Belvedere. Bob Euchre, all the way. I like playing euchre, and I also like Bob. Andrea Hangst said, one of the hundreds of things I love in the Golden Girls is that they don't mind throwing the word slut around. Older women, bang. They were vicious to each other. And they always just like took it in stride. There was never a resolution. They would just go, and then they would just go back to normal. Yeah, they were good. And I believe Estelle Getty coined the phrase slut puppy, which is really the prime one. Oh my God, Jordan said, I'm going to request 5 Young Cannibals on Sunday. What a song. SM said, favorite Britney Spears song? I'm going to say Toxic. Or she's so lucky. She's a star because she cries in the lonely dark, thinking if there's nothing missing in my life, then why do these tears come at night? Jordan Packers like, does George Bush count? In retrospect, he's very funny. He was very good to impersonate. Andrea said, I have lots of Golden Girls ruminations, and feel free to hit me with them. Chris said, Dennis Leary, again, he's a misanthrope. That's what I figured. Carly said, Dennis Leary lives in my town, and he's a righteous jerk. Such a good way to put it. Nails used the Mount emoji with my face and said, look at this cutie. And I said, well, thank you. Yolanda said, he, okay, fine, which tells you Yolanda is a total sub. Nail said, Team Brittany or Team Christina? Well, considering I just sang Lucky, I think that gives you your answer. Kiana said, I had the Scary Spice Barbie and my mom threw it away. I used to have their like little photos. I used to get envelopes and they were their Spice Girl photos in them. Ty said, C'est la vie. Yes, from Bewitched. So I am not crazy. Okay, good. Famous said, Leslie Jordan reminds me of Truman Capote, but much more likable. That's for sure. Aaron said, C'est la vie. Nailed it. I want to bask in this glow for a second. It's very important to me. Andrea said, I was always so jealous of kids who'd have the astronaut ice cream. Oh, you mean the freeze-dried? Sometimes it would be banana, or sometimes it would be strawberry. And they would always sell it at the museum for some reason, being a museum gift shop. And here's what astronauts ate. Taco Cat said, honestly, the Golden Girls are my friendship goals, which is hilarious because B did not like Benny. Everyone wants to be a Dorothy, but they're really a Blanche. That's very true, Nails. And Nails also says, nobody tell the Sunday crew that we get free songs on Wednesdays. These are only previews. I'm going to knock it out of the park when I do Some Enchanted Evening on Sunday. That's a number where I'm like, how often do I tell you in advance that I can do a song? I'm asking you to ask for it. Well, this was fun as always. Have a lovely night. Good night, Sabrina. And she used a sweet, hey, what are you, buddy? A piece of shit or something emoji. God bless you. Kiana said, Lifetime just showed a promo for Lorena Bobbitt documentary directed by Lorena Bobbitt. Please do a review. Oh my God. It would make my rip my own penis off. Dear Lord. John Wayne Bobbitt was on Monday Night Raw once in the 90s, and it's in horrible taste. Ty said, how is this basically over? Stream for another hour, please. I need to leave you wanting more. I'm doing a lot of content. I need to manage correctly. Yolanda said, a total sub. Little do you know that I'm inching my way from the corner and watching the TV. You want to be ashamed of yourself. Tabby said, the only funny Republican is Rob Schneider. RJ in the city. Roaring Julius. Who shot RJ? You can do it. A legend. The man is a freaking legend. He was also at like WrestleMania 16, sat next to Adam Sandler. It's like, thanks for the tickets, friend. Revenge said Eden's Crush or the Pussycat Dolls. I'm going to say the Pussycat Dolls, I think, ended up more famous. What about, oh God, I can't think of them now. It's not Fifth Harmony. That's not it. But it was a name like that. Oh, can someone help me? They harmonized a lot, but it was in the 90s. It was like in the later Spice Girl era. Dear Lord, someone help me. I want to say they were British. I love hearing hometown stories like that, said Nails. Who is the old wrestler who was recently transphobic? I look around the locker room and take a pic. Someone tweeted about him shouting his mouth off in the local post office, and that made me laugh. I don't know. Yeah, it could be anyone. He said Golden Girls. So many actors repeated at different characters. Pepe and Enrique Mas, the guy who played Miles, and did George Clooney repeat? Or was he just in one as that investigator? Which is a jarring episode in hindsight. Bill said, so if you had to rate which is in her best roles, are we talking about Rue? We're talking about Rue McClanahan? In Golden Girls, Maude, or Mama's Family? Oh, yeah, you are talking about Rue. I loved her in Maude. I think she had even better chemistry with B. Arthur in Maude than she did in the Golden Girls. And that was really their prime. Golden Girls isn't even their prime. I'm not saying that they're not great, but like Maude is on fire. Jordan said, I met Fine Young Cannibals, and it's the song She Drive Me Crazy. Ooh, ooh. Yolanda said, hi, I am. I'm also very proud. That is the masochistic part of you. Kiana said, Dream? No, that's not who I'm thinking of. No, not S Club 7. S Club. And I always say this every time somebody mentions S Club 7. The S in S Club 7 stands for Simon Fuller. He was the band's manager. He was like their Lou Pearlman. So it's really, there ain't no party like a Simon Fuller Club party. Fast Food Guido said, you and David should rehash Say Goodnight Gracie skits. He would absolutely. He got me a nice vaudeville book. Famous said, speaking of Golden Girls, I'd love to hear you talk about the case of the Libertine Belle, one of my favorite episodes. Ooh, maybe I'll just do a Good, the Bad, and the Unknown of Golden Girls. That'd be a good idea. Stokely says, George Clooney should have had coitus with Blanche. I mean, I'm sure he did. I just don't know if it was on camera. Couture Harris said, RJ, remember when Green Day, Creed, Nickelback, The Fray, Papa Roach, Linkin Park, Velvet Revolver music was fire? Yes, I do. What about Puddle of Mud? Huh? Guy wore a hat. Tabby Level and say, checks clock. Holy crap. This stream might end on purpose tonight. We're getting close. I could be kicked off at any point. You never know. Yolanda said, I will shimmy to that. Of course you will. You like being doing what you're told. Taco Cat said, Linkin Park has held up pretty well. Yeah, relative to those other weirdo 90s bands. I mean, you don't hear from Evanescence anymore. You certainly don't hear from Tattoo. All Saints. All Saints, that's the band. Rowan, thank you. Oh, God bless you. They were English-Canadian. That makes so much sense. It's probably why nobody else has heard of them. All Saints is exactly who I'm thinking of. Nils New York said, have you ever mud wrestled? Yes, but not professionally. Chris said Nickelback. Andrea Hanks said that Clooney episode was wild. Also, when they get their house is broken into and Rose gets a gun. Yeah, that was weird. I also love the one, and I can't remember her name, but anytime Sophia's sister comes. She's played by a wonderful actress, and I can't for the life remember her, and I was looking her up yesterday. It's completely skipped me. Atomic Kitten says, Kiana, no, but that's a great one. Famous said, everyone has coitus with Blanche, except for me. Carla said, quick, everyone hit the like button. AJ Lund said, oh, this is what you were trying to say. Yes, AJ, hello. Good evening, and welcome to the program. I'm almost done, but whatever. Fashionably late. Oh, Kiana said, no, Evanescence is working on new stuff. Excuse me indeed. Hey, did she ever land in that music video? Remember she was falling from the building? Andrea Hank said, All Saints. Wow, yeah. Good. I'm happy I'm not crazy. I knew that existed. Nail said, this chat has been so cool. He hasn't paused for a buggery limerick, but I think I will. Before we go, I'll read one. Was going to ask you a long time ago, for your Golden Girls retirement years, who would be the 3 people you would retire and live with? Mario. I love I'd probably, the 3 people in a group that I know will get along with, it would be me, Colin Delaney, Dalton Castle, and then Matt Taven, for sure. Those would be the golden boys. Chris said the lead singer from Evanescence did a duet with Ice-T recently for his metal band's newest album. Gee, nobody's keeping me in the loop of that. Taco Cat said, hot take, but Nickelback isn't that big. Yeah, but they also got worse. Yolanda is laughing. Good for you. Tabby said, I want to be a wrestler, but the only move I will do is a tope suicida. Well, that will be equally as bad for you. That is like the worst move to do. Pick the most dangerous move, why don't you? Ty said, no, you have to stream for at least another half hour. You don't make the demands. Simon Graves said, Nancy Walker. Thank you. Nancy Walker played Estelle Getty's, Sophia Petrillo's sister on The Golden Girls, her Italian sister, and looked so different. It's hard to even recognize that it's her. You have to see a real picture of Nancy Walker and then go back. Andrea said, I'm sure you know about the Golden Palace. Of course, and I'm going to be covering it soon. Don't you worry about that. Fasu Guida said, no Mark Henry in the RJ house. Big sag. Yeah, but I'm in his house a lot, so it's fine. I saw Papa Roach, said Sean, opened for Nickelback when I was like 13. Couture said, Twisted Sister, we're not going to take it, was badass. I guess so. Tucker Cat said, I mean, they're not the best, but they're not terrible. Nail said, did you answer my question about a wrestling boy band? I'm tipsy, but sure I didn't miss it. Who would be my wrestling boy band? It would be my Golden Girls list. It would be me, Dalton Castle, Matt Taven, and Colin Delaney as the cute one. You totally wore those glasses because I asked, said Ty. Of course I did. Famous said, have you sung Miami You've Got Style on a Sunday stream? I'm pretty sure I have, but I will again because I do know the words. Mark Henry said he would be on Coffee and Underwear, said Nails. And yes, he did say that, but I do like to do them in person. Zach Ryder also said he would be on too, but I would like to give them, a little time. And I would like to do it in person. I would like to drink them in. And I would like our bodies to speak to each other in a way you can't do digitally. Tabby said, Nancy Walker now has me thinking about Susan St. James, who was a commentator at WrestleMania 2. Nails New York said Dalton Castle would be the one who got too big for his boots and leave and release a version of Freedom. Okay, here we go. This is a good way to go out. Let's close with a limerick. We should open with a limerick and close with a limerick like it's some sort of Sunday Bible service. Oh, I like this one. We all listening, boys and girls? There was a young man of Madras whose balls were constructed of brass. When jangled together, they played stormy weather and lightning shot out of his ass. That was very sweet and also had the wonderful song Stormy Weather. And what more do you need? On behalf of myself and my Lime Ricky, yeah, I'll be back. I'll be around. Yeah, you'll hear from me soon. My dear sweet members may get early access tonight after this to a video that is dropping on Friday. So stay tuned. Otherwise, look, I'll be around. I'm always online. I got nothing to do. God bless you. Godspeed.